Hello guys, this is Oroth and a warm welcome back to my channel. I just released a dungeon video and I thought it would be nice to also show you my farm builds. These work super well in open world farming, it works well in Abyssal Verge, and if you farm for terror essences. I call this the popcorn build because yeah, it's quite clear why. I'm gonna show you the most cool version that I like a lot first. But all of them works just fine, so you can try them all out, and let's start with the first one here. And the skills I'm using is Ferocious Strike, Raven Swarm, Stag Charge, Surging Stone and Earthquake. And if we take a look at the set pieces, I use 4 pieces of V2 Surge. I do this for the beneficial effect duration of course, but also the increased attack speed will allow me to dash faster. The animation speed will be shorter, which means that I can run even faster. I cannot run faster, but I can dash faster. And I use the 4 pieces of Angmet just because it's nice to apply dot effects in open world farming, for example, because then if you don't manage to kill the whole pack at once, as long as you just applied some dot effects, you can just keep on running and they will die eventually. Let us of course also take a look at the essences here. In the helmet slot for this version, it's practically a dead essence, it doesn't do anything, so let's not look at this one. But if we look at the chest piece, I use earth bindings, and what it says is that Earthquake will now smash the ground and empower us, which will cause our movement to unleash aftershocks every few yards. And this is really cool, and yeah, it's like popping popcorn, so it's super nice. And if you look in the shoulder slot here, I use Soar Skull. What it does is that whenever we use Raven Swarm, we will also increase our movement speed. So if you see me running around like this, and then I use Raven Swarm, all of a sudden I will run faster thanks to the increased movement speed. If we look in the pants slot here, I use Scorched Birth, and what it does is that it allows our Stag Charge to leap to a target location, and then it will also generate primal power based on the number of enemies it hits. And this is super strong because we want to prolong the effects that consumes primal power as much as possible, and with this build we can actually receive 100% uptime on the Surging Stone. And the Surging Stone, it looks like this. It's a huge area of effect, and you can see that it drains primal power, and whenever I use skills I will recharge primal power, but yeah, without this pants essence it's quite hard to sustain this Surging Stone uptime without a lot of Surging Stone affixes. But I'm gonna show those affixes a little bit later on as well. In the first maintenance slot I use 100 Wings, and yeah, this makes Raven Swarm turn into a dash skill that also reduces cooldown if I don't hit an enemy. So if you pay close attention now when I use the Raven Swarm and look at the cooldown, you can see that after the dash and I don't deal any damage, I also restore some of the cooldown remaining. So that's also very good, because if I can time this correctly, I can use it more often. This means I can move faster, and I will also restore primal power a lot faster. In the first offense slot I use Goring Brace, and yeah, this is not very important because I'm rarely using the primary attack, but if I do, I also gain some additional primal power thanks to this one. In the second maintenance slot I use Branch of Growling Earth, and what it does is that it will increase the damage of Earthquake a little bit if I'm attacking a slowed enemy. It's not very important, but yeah, it's still nice, and it will also give an awakening effect that increases the damage of Earthquake. And finally, in the second offense slot we have a Dead Essence. This is not useful, so it doesn't really matter what you put in here. If we take a look at the legendary gems, it's not really important what you put in, but I prefer to have some dots, so I have the Rolling Consequence and Viper's Bite. I also use Grim Rhythm for some extra attack speed, and this is just because I want the animations of the dashes to be as short as possible. And here you can see on top of that I have the classical damage gems. I have Bloodsoaked Jade, I use Blood Flow, Colossus Engine, Spectre Glass and Bottle Hope. So yeah, this is a nice gem setup, but you can of course experiment freely here. If we look at the Paragon, I'm using Brawler just for the size, because size increases our movement speed, but I could also use Vanquisher to receive more gold and more items, and I could also use this Lucky here, because that will increase the globe drop rate. and this allows us to pick up more purple orbs to reset the stag charge and the raven swarms to dash faster and to keep regenerating primal power. What's also important to mention here is that I have some affixes that you can use. For example, here we have the Surging Stone affix, and we also have the Raven Swarm affix. And these affixes actually allows me to sustain 100% uptime on the Surging Stone. So it's very, very efficient. So if you can get your hands on some of these, that would be very, very strong. So how do you play the build? We're gonna go out and see it in action, of course, but it's very simple. You just use Surging Stone and Earthquake, and then you just dash around. Try to use Raven Swarm when you will not hit an enemy, because then you will get more charges. And whenever you use Stag Charge, it's a very, very long range of this dash. Make sure that you land onto a pack, and you will also restore tons of primal power. It's super easy to play, and you will have decent movement speed all the time, so this works very well. Here we can see the build in action, and I just wanted to show some gameplay as well, just to illustrate how smooth it is to play. And look now, when I use the Stag Charge, I always aim within a pack, and you can also see this long range, and it's also a huge area of effect where you land. So this is super strong to optimize your primal power regeneration. I think when I recorded this, I actually forgot to equip my items that reduces the primal power consumption of the Surging Stone, and to increase the primal power I gain from my Raven Swarm. The build will still look exactly like this when I play it. The only difference will be that the uptime of Surging Stone will almost be 100% thanks to these affixes. I think you get the point here, and let's now look at the first alteration and the second version of this build, and that is probably my favorite one, so let's take a look. For the second version, I have switched out Earthquake for Summon Wolves, and then we get to use this Rattling Shell that increases our movement speed when we have wolves. And yeah, the movement speed is actually a little bit higher using this build. It's 40% instead of 30%. So I would probably say that maybe this version is the best one, because we have the highest movement speed, and we can also use this shoulder, which gives us a buff whenever we use Stag Charge that will increase our primal power generation. So now when I use Stag Charge, if I use any skills after this, I will restore a lot more primal power compared to not using this shoulder. So this makes it a lot easier to sustain 100% uptime on the Surging Stone here. So now we're gonna watch this version, and we can see now that I'm able to run a little bit faster. And this is also the easiest version to sustain the 100% uptime, as I said, on the Surging Stone, thanks to the shoulders. You can see that we will not go down, and we can keep on going forever. We never need to reapply Surging Stone, because the primal power will never run out. So I don't think we have to look too much on the gameplay here, because yeah, the gameplay is very similar for all of these versions. But I also want to highlight a third version where you are able to maybe deal a little bit more damage if your damage output is not enough. So let's take a look at that one as well. I also really like this third alteration. Here we have switched out Earthquake and Summon Wolves for Thorn Armor, and then we use Coat of Fecundity, because this will allow us to inflict Smolder Seeds that will explode whenever we burn an enemy, and that's why 4 pieces of Agmet is also very useful if you use this version. And here we have the helmet, also Trailing Vine, that will increase the critical hit chance a little bit while we use Thorn Armor. And yeah, it's the same thing here. You just activate both of these skills. Now you have 2 AoE effects, so if you're lacking a little bit of damage, maybe this version will work best. And yeah, other than that, the play style is very similar. So let's also take a look at this build a little bit in the wild. Here we can see that we have another AoE effect. and this allows us to deal a lot more damage. Also thanks to the Angmet we are able to explode these smolder seeds that we are applying with the Thorn Armor. So yeah, this is also very smooth. It's a little bit slower than the previous one, a little bit less cool in my opinion compared to the first version. But yeah, the Surging Stone is also a little bit like exploding popcorns. So yeah, let's just go with it. This is the exploding popcorn druid, and who doesn't like popcorn? I mean, I do. And yeah, hopefully we will be able to produce some more cinematic content for the druid going forward, so that we will be able to also munch some popcorns. I know that you are eager for that after watching this video. But with that being said, it was a pleasure once again to present some druid builds for you guys. I've had a lot of fun so far with this class, and I will try to produce a DPS video as fast as I can, that you can use in raids and to deal optimal DPS at the training dummy. Until then, I want to wish you a very nice day or a very nice evening wherever you are. And of course, to all of my clan members in Nyx, I would also like to say Voruk Nyx, Sholak Sol. So, bye bye.
Subscribe to Oral's channel. Yeah. Subscribe to Oral's channel. Subscribe to Oral's channel. Women channel. Subscribe to Oral's channel. Subscribe to Oral's channel. To my tribe to join us happy. Yeah. Subscribe to Oral's channel. Subscribe to Oral's channel. Women channel. Subscribe to Oral's channel.